Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. So we're still on the 5 elements. Alright, so we're on the 4th element studying. We started it, but we only got to the end, so inshallah today we'll just go ahead and finish that up. And we have one more element to go. And then after that, we're going to go into chapter 6, which is learning the Arabic language, which I'm pretty sure most of the people, that's what they're waiting for. So what we might do is, because we've been making these classes as the explanation of the believer's handbook, but with the Arabic lessons, we might do those. We're going to record them, but we're not going to put them up as, the explanation of the believer's handbook. Because what we're going to do is we want to actually record that series of learning the Arabic language as a series. We're going to use the book. We're going to read from the book and go over the book, but we want to have that as a series by itself. So we'll probably, if you find it on an institute, it's not going to be under the name, the explanation of the believer's handbook, but it will be. It's going to be the same thing, but it just won't be called that. Like, the title will be different, because that way the people, if we just put the explanation of believer's handbook, lesson 32, 33, 34, 35, what happens is what? No, people are just going to see that and they're going to be like, whatever. But now if we talk about, the methodology of how to learn the Arabic language, lesson 1 and lesson 2. Now the people that want to focus on learning the Arabic language, now they know where to find that information is. So it's a lot easier, But, page, واحد وثمانية. واحد وثمانية. Right here. Right at that paragraph, whatever. All right, so Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All right, whatever advice your teacher gives you, do it. You should focus 100% on the lesson at hand. While you are studying with the Shaykh, you should not be reading other explanations of the book you are studying, because it will confuse you. Ya akhi, you go and you sit with a Shaykh. I used to love this so much, and I'm being sarcastic, right? We're sitting with the Sheikh, but Sheikh Uthaymeen said, but Sheikh bin Baz, you want to go sit with Sheikh Uthaymeen and Sheikh bin Baz. Right now, you're sitting with this Sheikh, understand his opinions. You're not, this is wallahi the danger of having all these resources right now, because for a small student of knowledge, he should not be focused on all these resources. You have the Sheikh that you study with, focus on his opinions. Focus on how he got to those opinions. If you have an issue, go sit down with the Sheikh and ask him. Go say, yeah, Sheikh, where did you get this from? I didn't understand this. Can you please explain this to, where did you get this information from? And go back. Read the books that your Sheikh reads and follow the stuff that he follows. If you see him quoting from Fath al-Bari, go and read Fath al-Bari. You see him quoting from, the Sheikh will quote a lot from Nail al-Awtar, from Shawkani, then go read Shawkani. See where he gets his opinions from and focus on that alone. The biggest travesty, wallahi, and all these brothers that I used to see in Damaj, they'd be sitting there in Damaj listening to the explanation of Ketha wa Ketha from Sheikh al-Uthaymeen. Okay, Tayyib, do that when you go back to your balad. Right now, if you're sitting with a Sheikh, you give that Sheikh your full attention. Your full attention. That's respect. That's disrespect to go around that Sheikh. Well, Sheikh Fulan says this is Sheikh Fulan. Yeah, akhi, leave, man. Seriously. Then obviously you don't respect that Sheikh enough to be concerned about his opinions. Then leave. Go find another Sheikh to sit with that you respect. But you don't do that. That's disrespectful. And wallahi, it's not just the Western brothers. It's everybody. Everybody does this, because a small student of knowledge having all the resources available that he has is a travesty. Is a travesty. You go in there, when you go there with the mindset of understanding this Sheikh, how he got to those opinions. You're not going there to argue with him. You want to go argue with him, khalas, then obviously you're not fit for seeking knowledge. If that's what you're going there is for arguing. A student of knowledge is not about arguing. A student of knowledge is about getting to the haqq. But the only way that you can get to the truth is by what? By understanding how he got to the opinions that he got to. All right, you don't have the ability right now to sit down with Sheikh Mubaz and understand how he got to the opinions he got to, because he's dead, Allah yarhamu. You understand? But you have a Sheikh that's alive that's sitting there teaching you, and you can sit down and go back to him and ask him, okay, look, yeah, Sheikh, I noticed that you took this opinion. Can I ask you, where did you get this from? What do you advise me to read? To start to understand, how you got to this opinion. And he'll give you advice. Anytime that I asked Sheikh Yahya for a book to read, the Sheikh went and grabbed a book for me, just to show you how humble he was. Like, he will go to the shelf and say, here, read this. This is the best book. That's how he is. But you have to respect him. You have to go there and try to understand what he's teaching, how he got to his opinions. Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen, Sheikh bin Baz, each one had a different methodology about seeking knowledge and how they got to. So like Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen, he was a person whose foundations was on Usul al-Fiqh. All right, but if you study with like Sheikh Yahya, his foundations is on Ilm al-Hadith. It's two completely different things and how they're getting to where they're getting. But each one is trying to get to the truth. Right now, if you're sitting with a scholar of Hadith, then learn how the scholars Hadith get their opinions from Hadith. Use this time. If you leave out of that markaz and all you benefited is the opinions of another sheikh, you can sit here and say all day long what Sheikh Al-Albani said, what Sheikh bin Baz said, and what Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen said, and all these other Sheikh Salih Fawzan said, but you can't even understand how your own sheikh got to the opinions, then khalas, you haven't benefited anything. You haven't benefited from your sheikh. You just have a whole bunch of you're ready to go on, the seeking knowledge jeopardy. That's what you've just gathered a whole bunch of fatwa, but you don't understand. You didn't gather the usul because you didn't sit down and understand how he got to that, how he's making these fatwa, how he's coming to these conclusions. That comes when you start understanding the usul of Ahl al-Hadith and how they get to these opinions. You haven't gotten that. So you're not a benefit now when you go back to the people because you're not founded. You don't have a foundation. Every single time that you have to have an issue that comes up, what are you going to be doing? I wonder what Sheikh Fulan said. I wonder what Sheikh Fuzan. But you didn't benefit from your own sheikh. You should have already benefited. Like I sat for years with Sheikh Yahya. I've heard him ask all the different questions. It's not about what his answer is. It's not about listening to his answer. But how did he get to that answer? How did he come to this conclusion? What's his evidence? And you look at his evidence. If he didn't give the evidence, or that maybe the evidence wasn't clear, you go ask him. Or you go ask another bigger student because maybe the sheikh's too busy. But you ask another student and say, look, I heard the sheikh say this. I don't understand how he got to that opinion. And the big students, they'll break it down for you. They love doing that. They love when they see somebody that's has this desire to learn. They'll sit right down with you and they'll explain it to you. But that's the type of understanding you have. You have a sheikh, you have a person teaching in front of you, that's what you focus on. That's what you focus on. If you want to read books and take from all over the place, you could do that at home. Akhi, what are you there in the markaz of the sheikh for in the first place? All right. So he said after that, or I said after that, your goal at this point is to understand the book you are studying, and the explanation of the teacher you're studying with. Now you could take an explanation of a book and read it before you take the class to see if you understand it. But once you get into the class, your whole focus is on what that teacher is teaching and taking from him, taking his understanding and memorizing his understanding. That's what you take. And then, because you're dedicating your whole attention to what? To him. But like I said, I've seen it so many times. They'll go sit in a class of Nahu, right? Write down the notes, go back and listen to the tapes of Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen. Nah, man, focus on the person in front of you. Focus on the person in front of you. You can go and listen to those tapes anytime. Right now, you have this opportunity. Focus on the person teaching you. He's the person that you can go ask questions. He's the person that you can see where he got his information from. So that's where you need to place 100% of your focus. Not 75%, not 85%, 100% of your focus needs to be placed on that class that you're taking at the time. All right. So he said after that, you should be writing out notes from the class. All right, wait. Your goal at this point is to understand the book you are studying and explanation of the teacher you are studying it with. You should be writing out notes from the class with the different information from the book that you need to memorize in a notebook. You should spend your time memorizing what is in the notebook before the next class. And if you're going around reading and listening to other tapes and reading other books, where are you going to have the time to sit down and memorize the notes for the class? Again, give that class 100% of your attention. All right. You should spend your time memorizing what is in the notebook before the next class. Always go to class prepared. When you're going over your notes for the class, read them at least 100 times before the next class. Get a counter. And that's why I say read it 100 times, because the book itself you should have already what? You should already have it memorized. If you're going and you're going to study Al-Ajrumiyah and Nahu, you've already memorized it before you started the class. So you don't need to go back and revise. You just keep revising it as you're going along with the class. Now your whole focus on this class is what? The explanation. You're taking down all the notes that help you understand the book that you've already memorized. Now you take those notes, however much they are, they could be 2-3 lines, they could be 15 lines. Depends on what information you took and what information you might understand things, and things you don't understand, you have to write more. You take those notes and you read them 100 times before the next class. Sit there with a counter, same thing, you can count it out, and, at least 100 times until you feel like those notes are what? Stuck in your head. And now you can take the same information and you can explain it, with fluency and with ease, just like the way that you saw the teacher explain it. That's your focus. That's what you need to be spending time on. If you need to take the notes and rewrite them. Rewrite them in a notebook in a cleaner fashion, in a more organized fashion, so it's easy to memorize. If you like, maybe you grew up with a lot of sisters, so you have like 5 different color pens, and you write the word here in a blue pen, and then you put then you write the explanation in a green pen, and then you write, whatever. If that's the thing that you do, then that's what you do. All right, but the point is that that's what you need to be focusing on and nothing else. So always go to class prepared. When you're going over the notes for the class, read them at least 100 times before the next class. You can also find a study partner or make a study group. All right, a lot of the times, especially with subjects that are difficult, that's what the students would do. The teacher would generally assign his strongest student to have revision with the students. But you need, obviously if you're weak in the science, then you're going to have to, require more attention. So you need to get somebody that's stronger than you, sit down with them and go over the stuff and until you can understand it. Because sometimes, especially like us from the West, the Arabs, they'll explain things to us in a way that they'll explain it to us just like we're one of them. But we don't catch on like that. The Arabic is not our language, and maybe he's using it in a way that we're not accustomed to speaking. So you take another person, like we used to sit with like the Indonesians or the Somalis, the other brothers that speak Arabic fluently and strong, but they're also what? They're not Arabs. So they know how to break it down and say, no, this is how you understand it. So if that's the case, that's what you need, then that's what you have to do. And that even goes for the Arabs that grew up in the West, because you guys are Western too, regardless of you being able to speak a bit of Arabic, but you're Western. You're even in Clovis Western. Yeah. Clovis West, we are the best, Everybody's gonna be Googling your school like every single time. Every single class that we do, people are like, your school's gonna be like the #1 search for school in America, Well, no, actually, we don't have that many people watching, but yeah, maybe in the future. All right. You can also find a study partner or make a study group. This way you have other students to compare notes and check your understanding with. You should definitely do that regardless. Even if it's just to compare the notes and to make sure that you got the notes down correctly, you need that. Don't rely on your memory. Don't rely on, I know how to take notes. No, you need somebody to check with, to make sure that you got the right notes and things that you didn't miss, Because again, when you're over there studying like in Yemen and places like that, they're not going to cater to you because they look in the class and they see like, 1 American or 2 Americans in the class. They're not going to sit there and say, let me repeat this again for the Westerners who, write very slow. No, he's going to repeat it. He's going to say it one more time, and you get it. You don't. Khalas. He's going to treat you like he treats everybody else. So you're going to need somebody, especially if you're a slow writer, to go and check everything with, make sure you got the correct notes. So there's always going to be that one student in every class that has the information down. Because you're going to have that one student in the class, he's just in the class to revise. He's there because he's bored and he's waiting for another class to open up. So he's just revising now, but he's got it down. He's there and he's just there to be there, until the next class opens up. So you're always going to have that one student, right? All right. There's always going to be that one student in every class that has the information down. You want to get close to that person. And the only way that you can get close to that person is to do what? Huh? Yeah, you have to be like a hardcore, you got to show. Yeah, he's not going to you're over there drinking tea and picking your nose every day while everybody else is out there studying. He's not going to want to talk to you. He doesn't want to be around you. You're a waste of his time. You're not serious. He's not going to view you as serious. So those types of students, they're serious. And for you to get close to him and have that type of relationship, then you also have to be serious, Otherwise, he'd just be like, smile, okay, you know, I'm a bit busy, you know. He'll be nice to you, but he's going to shoo you away, basically, you know. But if you want to be serious, you got to be serious. You want to be around serious people, you have to be a serious person. All right. Where'd I go? You want to get close to that person. Don't waste your time with the losers that get finished with class and go drink tea in the shops and pick their notes. The losers are the ones that will not look at their notes until 15 minutes before the class starts. Oh, don't we know that person? You were that person, right? When you were in school? Nah, you just didn't even go to school, right? But most people that you study with, and most people, like, this is how you study in school, is what?
Cramming.
Yeah, just cramming. The last 15 minutes, oh my God, we got a test today, oh my God. Nah, the person is serious. He's like, you know, who cares? See, I remember, like, you know, they used to, when I was teaching in school, right? And they had the Arabic exams, all right? And I used to take the Arabic exams with the high school students. I used to sit down and take it with them. And it used to be me and as one of my students from Algeria. And both of us, we had already memorized these books in Nahu. We memorized them. So I used to tell them, I said, look, man, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to answer the whole exam just from Al-Ajurumiyya, alone. You know, just from what I memorized. I didn't study with them. I didn't take the class with them, right? And he had also memorized he memorized the Nadam of Al-Ajurumiyya from Ash-Shanqiti. So he said, okay, let's do this. I would sit next to him. I would like have this and I would take the test and we both get the highest grades in the class. Because of what? We were sitting there while we were taking the test, reciting the metin. Like we were like revising, like, you know. So whenever we come to a question about something that's like, you know, about a nasb or a rafa or whatever, we would be sitting there like saying the, you know, so the other students were looking at us like, y'all are crazy. What are y'all doing? What do y'all keep singing to yourselves for? So we're not singing to ourselves, we're repeating the metin in our minds. And then we write the answer down. So the test was easy for us. He never stressed over the Arabic test. And I never failed it, you know, even though I never took the class with them. All the other 30 students, they were failing left and right. They're getting like C's, D's, and F's, right? Because they weren't prepared. They were just trying to go and cram at the last moment. So when we went in, we already had the information in our head, or in our hearts. In our hearts.
Yes.
The information in the heart, not in the head. He's not paying attention. He's all right.
Is honeymoon already?
Yeah. These are the people you do not want to revise with. Oh my God, if you ever have to get into a study group with these types of people. Oh, I'm not prepared. Oh, I didn't take notes today. Oh, he's got like, wallahi, he spends more time memorizing excuses than he does memorizing the lesson. You know, mashallah. Oh, if he had taken the energy that he used to make up the excuses that he comes up with, then mashallah, he'd be Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah if he uses that energy to actually benefit from the lesson that he was taking. You know, boy, he's got 1,001 excuses for not doing something. You do not want this person. It's better to study alone. These are the people you do not want to revise with. If you revise with them, they will turn every revision session into a conversation about nothing. How many people do you know like that? Huh? You try to sit down and get serious, and all they want to do is just talk about nothing. All right. Stay away from them. Find the serious students that are prepared all the time and start making friends with them. Start revising with the serious ones, but you have to be that serious person first, because they're not going to, if they look at you like you're that person, then they're not going to want to be around you either. Once you finish with your class and understand the book, you are ready to start researching, inshallah. And researching is going to be the last of the 5 elements. Inshallah, we'll take that in the next class. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك